Bristol, 29-17 over Newcastle. Bit of a weird game. I feel like the ball in play time for this game was probably not that high. But there was certainly some bloody magic, and officially, according to the Premiership website, the first try is scored 0 minutes. Should be 1, I think. ESPN, maybe I'll change that. It makes me feel uncomfortable. Most websites, if you score while the clock says 36, it'll register it as 37. It was 42 seconds. 42 seconds until Bristol got on the clock, on the board. And that was kind of the way this game seemed to go, eh? It was like score from nothing really easily, bar maybe this last one. And like have to really work for it. But anyway, I'll go through some of the key events, the stats and whatnot, and let you know my thoughts, but that's essentially it, man. Bristol, with a few moments of magic, get a bonus point win. Newcastle, their first defeat, but they still controlled areas of the game. There will be still some they're not that happy with. 42 seconds. Sheedy intercepts, I think it was Askett's pass, and he's in the clear. But there's defenders chasing him down, and Nolango is on Sheedy's shoulder, virtually having to slow down to say, give me the bloody ball and I'll run clear. He gives him the ball, a sensible decision, and Nalongo is just gone. Yeah, he's got absolute wheels. Like, Sheedy's no slouch, but at top pace, give it to you, Gas Man. Converted 7-0 after about a minute. It kind of looked a bit promising for Newcastle, though, because they got the first scrum penalty, and then they got like a more penalty. So it looks like their forwards are going to do the business. But man, when they had the ball, sometimes they were painful to watch. They were going backwards at times. Bristol's defence was just all over the backs. That being said, it didn't take them too long to get on the board. Watoki got on the board on 11 minutes. Flood had a nice little pass. Man, he's still going strong at 35. They said he was. I didn't know he was 35, but yep. And yeah, Watoki had like a little half dummy. Goes over. They did miss the conversion, but it was 7-5 after 10 minutes. Bristol, I didn't realise actually that the reason they had to change their whole front row was because of some close contact with some of the Quins players. That I hadn't read, so that was interesting. And like, yeah, when they threw the ball not straight, it was that man Kloska. I was a little bit worried because the scrum had given away a penalty, the maul had been penalised. Now the line-out didn't seem to be going well. I thought over the course of the game, it may be which, like, is it the forwards of Newcastle or the backs of Bristol to get the game done? But to be fair, I mean, he gets man of the match. Things kind of do come right for Bristol a bit. They get their own maul penalty on a quarter of an hour. And man, Pietau's try, like if the first try was a bit of magic with the intercept, the one-handed pickup for Pietau, I guess that's why he gets paid the big bucks, eh? It's like just a ball that gets passed to the grass. He picks it up one-handed, puts his shoulder down and goes over for a try. They may have been able to score if they'd gone through a few phases anyway, but no need when he gets over, and it's 14-5. 24 minutes, Bristol get yellow card warning. Too many penalties conceded in the red zone. Eventually, in that phase of play, they managed to hold off, which was pretty encouraging. Their defence managed to get a good exit out of it, but it's like one of those ones where you think the warning kind of expires when the ref, or when the team gets to exit, you go down the other end. But like, nah, some refs are good at keeping the warning in mind. And this ref, I forget his name, he was like that because about 5 minutes later, down Bristol's end again, Newcastle line out, the Bristol guys drive in early, and it's Atwood who gets yellow carded. It's like straight back for that. No warning again, like it's straight for the yellow card, so the warning still applies. And the Newcastle hooker got held up by Kloska from the resulting play with the extra man. So you can see why Kloska kind of gets man of the match, because he clearly gets on the board. He saves a try, and eventually, they start to get everything else sorted as well. 34 minutes, man, there was some messy scrums, and it was kind of summed up by a Newcastle scrum that was powering forward, and then Philip van der Walt lost control of the ball at the back of the scrum. I thought it was going to be a scrum penalty to Newcastle, but he didn't blow it up. And, good exit for Bristol. Interestingly, I swear in the preview, when I looked on the Premiership's website, I just had him as Philip Van. And I was like, Philip Van? That almost sounds like a half a South African name. Yeah. Flip Thunderbolt. Cool name because it always sounds like Thunderbolt. Very accustomed to seeing him playing in Super Rugby. Good to see him play for Newcastle's. I didn't realise it was the dude. So, yeah. I thought, half South African name. So, probably should have looked it up. But either way, I'm happy to see him playing. But that wasn't his finest moment. They did finally, man, after so much bloody pressure. Mark Wilson got over for the try in 39 minutes. But it was some effort in coming. I wrote in all capital letters, finally, they missed the conversion again. It's 14 points to 10. They scored 5 points during the yellow card. It was kind of blood from a stone. Just pressure, error, pressure, and eventually it paid off. And then to kind of add insult to injury for Newcastle, pretty much straight from the second half, easy as you like it, Nathan Hughes goes over for a try. Slick line-up move, jumper up to Hughes, hits the ball at pace, between two tacklers and just over for the easiest try. Like, I mean, the guy's a mountain of a man, so when he's moving at pace, I wouldn't want to get in his way. And, yeah, 21-10. After all that effort for this try, the ease of that one was pretty painful for Newcastle, but really good stuff for Bristol. Matias Orlando went close about 5 minutes later. They did check it to see he didn't get the ball down. It was close, but fair call. He was not down. And, what's his name? Blamy? The Newcastle hooker? Man, he's good. I need to remember his name because it was his offload that set up Orlando's little run. So, yeah, hopefully his signing will pay some dividends soon. 51, Newcastle knocked it on, but they found that there was a no-arms tackle from Bristol in the lead-up. And that's another period where Bristol started conceding a bunch of penalties. And I thought maybe he needs to give them another warning because there did seem to be quite a few red zone penalties, but eventually they get a try through Thunderbolt. And that maybe takes the pressure off, like in terms of the penalty warning. So it's 21-17. That's game on. But Kloska gets the try for Bristol on 58, which probably seals it. The TMO check. It's a maul. And it's a typical maul try, man. You can't see the bloody ball in there. The ref's like, well, I've seen it at the ground at the end of it once all the people are getting up, but he's got no idea how it got there. But he goes on field try. TMO can't see nothing. Fair enough try, probably got it down. So, yeah, in the old days, that would have just been a try all day long. So, yeah, 26-17. They did almost get another one to Nathan Hughes where Ranradra set up, would have been the try of the game. Like, Randall was involved, a few of the other Bristol guys. Hughes finished it off, but there was a forward pass which started it, I think, to Ewan Lloyd. And it looked forward on first viewing, but the ref's position, he couldn't quite see it. But it did look forward. As soon as I saw it, I thought, probably going to be called back, which is a pity. They did get a penalty at the end, Bristol, to make it 29-17. But, I mean, Newcastle were really chasing that one last try to get that fourth try bonus point and maybe get within 7, but it didn't look like happening. They really had to work hard for their tries. Maybe Wathoke's one was the easiest. Wilson's one was just the epitome of how difficult it was to get through Bristol. So, I mean, still encouraging for Newcastle, man. They've been pretty impressive thus far this season based on the table. 64% possession and 72% territory they had. But like I said, they had to work for it. The amount of defenders beaten in clean breaks is the same, 4 apiece. And Bristol actually has more defenders beaten, despite only having 36% possession. That's how lethal their attack is. 13-9 defenders beaten. 8 offloads to 3. It's just the style of game they play, eh? And Bristol's defence, 90% tackling success, whereas Newcastle were 82. When they did concede, sometimes it was honestly just too easy. Especially that first one. They'll be disappointed with how easily Hughes was able to get through, but as I said, he's a big man. Penalties conceded was 12-6, so double, hence why I thought maybe Bristol could have been warned another time, but they did get yellow carded the once. Hughes had 4 defenders beaten from 6 carries. He's a unit. Orlando had 2 clean breaks. Remember, that's half of the clean breaks for Newcastle. Wilson had 9 from 10 tackles. Kloska, man of the match, played pretty much the whole game. 11 from 13 tackles, number 1 tackler in the game. But tackling count was pretty low, 81-61, like low. That's why I think the ball and play time was probably also a bit low. But yeah, interesting watch. Like at times, it was a bit of a grind, but at times it was absolute magic. So a bit of a mixed bag. But yeah, first game of the year. I'll take it. I'll definitely take it. Next up for these two teams, Bristol have got Exeter, which will be absolutely fascinating. Exeter away. And Newcastle host Gloucester. So, yeah. Interesting. Tough stuff. You guys let me know your thoughts on the game. Apparently, I shouldn't be wearing a Bath jersey when I'm talking about Bristol. So I switched to Sale. There we go. All right. You guys take care. I'll talk to you again soon. See you later.